Welcome to the Channe Show, hosted by yours truly, Kavita Channe. Now, you may or may not have heard of bone broth, but we have Garret Bushong, owner of Dips Broth Company, to talk broth, how it affects your health, and more. Thank you so much, Garret, for joining us on the Channe Show. I'm so excited to have you. I love everything Garret related because you've been an inspiration to me, health-wise, friend-wise, and you're just a very positive person. And I'm sure now with the quarantine that your sales on your dipped bone broth have probably skyrocketed because people are just freaking out and wanting their immune systems to be healthy and work even better than they were before. So maybe you can give us a little insight onto what's been going on with you since March.
We've hit a point now where people are finally understanding that the immune system and taking care of your body and doing all those things that we talk about so much, but we don't normally do. We just talk. And they're finally understanding that they actually are making a massive difference, and they're actually doing things for your body that are preventing disease and they're preventing sickness. And if you do get sick, a lot of times it's shortening that sickness, or you may not even notice you are sick because your immune system is doing such a great job at taking care of those things. So the bone broth thing for sure has gotten crazy because it's not like it's a new thing, it's thousands of years old, but as more people are entering the market and making that product and making it available for people, and people are actually being able to use it in the manner that it was meant for originally. I mean, it heals the gut. It does things inside you that you're not really aware of until you realize, oh my God, my skin looks better. My nails are growing faster. I'm not sick anymore. I don't have these normal ailments that I did 6 months ago before I was doing this. And so I think going forward, I know we're going to be in this for a while to come. I mean, this is going to systematically change how people function on a daily basis. This is not going to be a 30-day, 60-day thing. I mean, this is going to be the lifestyles are going to change. People are going to do things differently forever going forward. And I think the beauty of the bone broth and just the health and fitness thing. I know we mentioned health and fitness, and the gym's closing has been just a wild thing for so many people because so many people are so used to going to the gym. It's my normal function. I go to the gym and that's what's healthy. But in reality, going to the gym really does nothing for you if you're not preparing yourself internally. If you're not taking care of your gut and you're not taking care of yourself in the kitchen, then going to the gym really, it means nothing. It does nothing for you because you're just destroying what you did in the gym and with your trainer when you go order that pizza or you go eat or drink or do those things that we normally do. And I think it's really going to change how people see health and well-being because there's people are out walking now, people are out jogging, are doing things that they were never doing before. And I think people are going to really realize that going to the gym, and it sucks because gyms are great businesses for so many people, but people like me who have set up mini gyms in their backyards and are doing things like caveman style, and I'm pushing big tires around and just moving big weights because at the end of the day, all you're trying to do is exercise your muscle to a point of fatigue. You're not trying to break anything down. You're not trying to do anything damaging to your body. You're just trying to work that muscle and get enough cardiovascular exercise in a short period of time to just get your body prepared for what you want to do the next day. And if you're doing everything in the kitchen with the bone broth, with your vitamins and supplements, and with all that stuff, then you don't necessarily need to go to the gym. And I know it sounds crazy and counterintuitive, but people are going to find that out in the next 90 days because gyms aren't going to open. Gyms are going to be closed for a long time. And then I really think when they actually do open back up, they're going to have to get, I don't even know if there's going to be a process that the counties and states are going to mandate that they're going to have to go through and clean and confirm that they're clean. I mean, who's going to want to really go to a gym with 120, 200 people in it when you don't know? I mean, who's going to confirm for people that these gyms are clean, So that's the other scary thing. So people, I think, are going to do a lot of stuff on their own in their homes. you can't even buy a piece of gym equipment right now. It's insane. You can't buy a band. You can't buy a yoga mat. It's just crazy. So I'm so happy that people are realizing that they can do these things for themselves in their homes. They don't need to go to the gym. They don't need to have that personal trainer. It's now people are just doing so many more things with themselves, with their families. They're connecting to themselves so much more. So it really is going to be, I think, it's terrible right now. It's devastating to so many people, but I think in the long positives and so many more benefits come out of this, just from the perspective of what we've done inside the home that we haven't been doing for years. Families having dinners together, people realizing that health and fitness is actually cornerstone to taking care of yourself and making sure that you're actually in a place where if you get a cold that comes through, your body can just beat it up and you don't have to deal with it. And it's not a big deal. Where people were in this mode where they got a cold and it was knocking them out for weeks, but it's just because of how unhealthy we lived for so long, So
How did you get in the business of bone broth, and how did you get into so much into what goes inside as opposed to the gym and the outside?
yeah,
Because you do clearly work out, but you seem to be more of a person motivated as what you put in your body than lifting weights and so forth.
right. The bone broth thing really came because it was a search for what it was that was going to make the body operate at a level that I didn't I didn't know was attainable. So I've worked out my whole life. I've always been a nutritional person. I've always known what goes into my body and what it does for me. But there was always that lagging factor of why does it take so long, or why don't you see instant results, or why, I started using the Viome testing, and I really started getting obsessed with longevity and people like Ben Greenfield and Dave Asprey and Dr. Mark Hyman, and they all have incredible podcasts, and they're not really agenda motivated. These guys are just trying to make people better at period. So when you hear these guys talk and they're all talking about the same stuff, essentially a lot of this stuff always leads back to the gut. And if you're not healthy inside your gut and your intestinal lining, and I mean, people hear it over and over, the statistics vary, but people are always talking about 60 to 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your intestinal lining and your gut lining. And so how do you make that bulletproof? How do you make that as good as you can possibly make it? Well, really step one is bone broth. And that's what the research that I had done had always come back to, was bone broth.
What specifically is it about bone broth that is making the gut more healthy than it's ever been?
So it's a combination of a few factors. The biggest one is really the collagen makeup of the bone broth. And then it's the micronutrient profile that you get from these bones, from these animal bones. When you're using grass finished bones and pasture raised animals, you're getting something in your diet and in your gut that you're not normally ever getting. So you're getting a load of collagen that your body can actually use. It's called bioavailability. So when nutrients, micronutrients, people know macros, everyone knows that. But when you talk about micros, the vitamins that you can get, the trace minerals, a lot of people aren't getting those in a way that's bioavailable, where your body can actually use it. And that's what the bone broth does. That gelatin, when you feel it, it sticks to your fingers. So that goes in your body and it coats your esophagus, it coats your gut, it coats your intestinal lining, and it starts to take care and repair those little microscopic holes that everyone calls leaky gut. But there's obviously technical terms for it, but everybody understands leaky gut. And we've all got it because we've been eating foods laden with pesticides and all these terrible things for so long that have really caused these serious issues internally. And people are really starting to realize that, oh my God, things are not going the way they're supposed to go inside my body. And why is that? So really it all leads back to you're consuming a product that's 100% natural. You're talking about bones and water and a few organic vegetables. So you're putting something in your body that your body instantly knows what to do with and how to use it. And that's why it works so fast and it works so well.
Right now during quarantine, how are you keeping yourself afloat in business? Where are you sourcing all your materials and your animal bones and all of that?
Yeah, so luckily I have great relationships with our farmers, and I've kept everything local. I have not been out of state. So luckily I'm small enough now that I can still use my local farmers. They're in Ocala, they're in Bonita. So anybody in the organic carrot farmers, the organic celery farmers, a lot of people don't realize that's a huge market in Florida. Actually, there's a lot of that going on. So I'm luckily being able to meet these farmers that are growing these animals and are harvesting the animals, and then they're keeping the bones, and that part of it gets separated and then it gets brought to me. So I'm still being able to get deliveries from these farms, but I've noticed there's been a massive drop off, and this is one of the things that's going to really be rough going forward. Is these farmers had markets for their products, and those markets are gone. The restaurants are closed. These farmers are having a very difficult time selling their products, so they're not harvesting as many animals. So now I don't have as many bones. So it's not just a problem for me, it's a problem nationwide. I mean, when the restaurants shut down and people have to cook for themselves, the consumption level goes way down. You go to a restaurant and you probably order a plate that's this big, but you eat this much. When you're at home, you're only making this much and eating this much. So that excess just, it doesn't evaporate. It just doesn't get consumed. It doesn't get purchased. So the farmers are harvesting less, they're producing less. So those things, we're going to feel those things for months ahead. And it's going to be rough for a lot of farmers and a lot of small businesses. But I think one of the cool things that the farms are doing that are local around here, that are up north, like in Lake Worth and stuff, you can go to these guys that were selling vegetables and stuff to the restaurants, and you can go now and you can get those boxes of fruits and vegetables from them. It was never direct to consumer, it was always business to business. But now, because that business dried up, they're allowing people to go direct to consumer, which is really cool. So that's the source of where I'm getting all of my stuff currently, which that hasn't changed. I'm just having to partially source from a few other people, but it hasn't gotten too crazy yet.
Okay, so for those people out there that say maybe they're right now, there's not much available. They might have frozen foods that they're not used to eating. Maybe they're going to the store once every 2 weeks to limit contact with others, and they have some vitamins in their house, but maybe they don't have access to the plethora of products on Amazon like we're used to. What advice can you give them, going forward if we're quarantined, say, for another month or two?
That's such a great question. And so many people have messaged me that and asked me that. What are you doing? Send me pictures of your supplement drawer and what are you taking? And man, really the best thing that you can do is stay away from inflammatory things. Stop drinking alcohol, stop eating fried foods, stop eating stuff that's really tearing you up internally, because what you want to make sure that you're doing is, if you end up getting something, you end up getting sick, you want to make sure your body is prepared to fight it. And you have to put your body in a state where it's ready to go to war. And if your body is ready to go to war, whatever comes at it, it's going to be able to fight and destroy, hopefully. So those are things like juicing. I'm juicing a lot of turmeric, ginger, lemon. I'm doing that daily. I'm doing a lot of juicing because a lot of organic vegetables are still readily available. I don't think that's going to be something that's not going to go away, because that market has gone from having to go to the restaurants, and now those restaurants have dried up. So now the end consumer, you and I, have the ability to go buy this produce and these vegetables that weren't really available to us. So that will always be there. So juicing, I think, is a major source of your vitamins and your minerals, because it's easy. And if you can't juice, you don't have a juicer, that's not a good excuse. Just cut them up and eat them. Just eat your vegetables. Go back to what we're supposed to be doing. Eat whole foods. Eat if it's in a package and it's got more than one ingredient, don't eat it. And I know it sounds.
That's all people have at this point, because what if they stocked up on frozen food because they were afraid that they weren't going to be able to have fresh food last?
Right, which is it's crazy, but it's good. It sounds like it's this crazy apocalyptic situation where there's no food and people have stocked up on all this stuff. But really what's happened is people have stocked up on essentials like frozen broccoli or frozen pineapple, whatever. And these are things that people probably weren't normally consuming or eating. And now they are, because they've been put in a situation where they are forced to. So we've almost been forced to become healthy. It's crazy, but a lot of people have seriously been forced to rethink how they go about their day. I mean, I can't go to the gym. The gym was a daily thing for me. Going to the grocery store was a daily thing for me. I was the guy who was going and buying stuff every single day because I want what comes off the truck. I want the freshest thing available. And now I'm having to do stuff once a week, twice a week. And now I'm working out in my backyard and running sprints and doing just caveman type stuff. It's crazy.
I'm doing virtual training sessions with my trainer. I thought this guy had me buy all this equipment 2 years ago and it was getting dusty, and now it's actually clean. So
I know, it's crazy. It's gonna be a funny time in like 2 or 3 months when the gym's open and everyone has all this gym equipment and they're going to be trying to get rid of it. So if anybody's out there listening and didn't get an opportunity to buy gym equipment because it got snatched up by every CrossFitter in the world, you just wait about 90 days because you'll be able to put an entire gym together for like $400 because these guys are going to be dumping it left and right.
absolutely. Well, Garret, I thank you so much for joining us. And I
Yeah.
know that everyone is going to, definitely want to stay healthier and heal their gut during this process. But at the same time, we're all stressed out. And a lot of people are still going to want to order a pizza every now and again and drink some Chardonnay Rosé because,
Yeah.
we're all stuck at home.
I mean, I did it yesterday. You're right.
We appreciate you coming on the show, and I can't wait to have you back. And I'm so excited because I got my delivery today of bone broth. That's not why you're on the show. You're on the show because I believe in you and your message. So,
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I hope everyone has a safe couple of weeks, months ahead. Stay self-grounded, do your meditation, do your breathing work, just get more in touch with yourself,
absolutely. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having
Until
me.
next time, Garret. Make sure to stay tuned for our next episode and subscribe to my YouTube channel.